One Piece Chapter 1103 has officially been released for readers. A summary and a rough translation of this chapter have been provided. After a quick read, it feels like an explosive chapter, setting the stage for upcoming developments in One Piece. Of course, Santurn continues to maintain his dominance in the battle, even though in the final pages of this chapter, he is facing a powerful counterattack. We witness haki emanating from Kuma's robotic body, a feat impossible for a regular machine. Examples like Frankie and Queen illustrate that Kuma is now a normal human, adding an intriguing dimension to the story. Despite Santurn ordering Vegapunk to modify Kuma, we see Vegapunk going against Santurn, revealing some intriguing details. Luffy is also set to return to the stage after this chapter, and Kizaru shows signs of rejoining the battle, adding more excitement. Now, let's delve into the full details of the captivating events of Chapter 1103 in this video. Thank you for taking the time to subscribe to the channel. Chapter 1103 title, I Apologize, Father. Opening the chapter, we see Bonnie inside a room containing Kuma's memory orbs. She recalls a previous moment where she cried after absorbing all the memories from these orbs. Kuma clarifies that these are just replicas, not the original contracts. In Chapter 1102, Bonnie meets Vegapunk and the scientist apologizes for not keeping his promise to Kuma. Touched, Bonnie reverts to her original form, canceling the abilities of the Toshida Shinomi Devil Fruit. At 12 years old, Bonnie embraces Vegapunk, crying and apologizing for her previous actions. Vegapunk presents a birthday gift from Kuma to Bonnie, a family heirloom with a blue gem in the center surrounded by 8 small circles, resembling the symbol of Kuma's church. Bonnie tearfully accepts the necklace, similar to the sun, and they discuss the child Kuma hoped for, which turns out to be Luffy. Kuma's predictions from 2 years ago are now coming true. Back to the present on the future island, Bonnie is still in Saturn's grasp, struggling to escape his rough hands. Santurn confirms to Bonnie that Kuma is dead, causing her great distress. Sanji and others below are helpless witnesses to the unfolding events. Luffy is seen with an emaciated, aged body, demanding to eat meat. However, Boa Hancock, wanting to bring food to Luffy, finds herself restrained, unable to move. Sentomaru is also seen captured by the Marines. While Kizaru remains on the ground following the recent battle, the Admiral secretly mentions the names of Sentomaru and Bonnie. Kizaru's helpless posture resembles that of Kid and Law after their defeat by the Yonko. News of the day's events, including the kidnapping of a hostage, has spread everywhere. Citizens read the newspapers, learning about a much larger-scale incident than the O'Hara incident. They wonder if Dr. Vegapunk is okay after being kidnapped by Straw Hat Luffy. Meanwhile, at Kamabaka, Dragon receives the news but cannot determine where Kuma intended to go due to Kuma's heavily injured body. Ivankov speculates that Kuma may return to Mariehawa, but Dragon thinks differently, sensing something unique about Kuma's intentions. Back on the future island, the Marines, standing on the ground, aim their guns at Bonnie angrily, threatening to kill her if any harm befalls them. Bonnie retaliates by using her Devil Fruit ability to transform into Nika once again, strengthening her arm enormously and delivering a punch. However, Santurn remains calm, commenting that Nika's form and Bonnie's inability to transform into Luffy's white form are interesting. In the meantime, below, Luffy continues to eat continuously without his body fully recovering. Santurn, infuriated, demands to know who fed Luffy and quickly restrains Bonnie. Using haki to create stone cuffs, he orders the Marines to act quickly, threatening consequences if Luffy is killed. Kizaru, still recovering, is not ready to fight, and Bonnie realizes she cannot manipulate Saturn's age with her Devil Fruit power. She wonders why, and Santurn begins to explain that he interfered with Bonnie's transformation process. Santurn reveals that he is the one who altered Bonnie's transformation, causing her to lose faith in the legend of Nika. He injected a special drug into her body, suppressing the power to transform into the future. Bonnie, unsure of the full implications, asks everyone to wait for the detailed release to understand better. Bonnie asserts that the deity Nika is real, and she sought Kuma after he transformed into a machine to free her father. Saturn believes Bonnie's weakened state is evidence of her diminishing belief in Nika. He recalls that Bonnie's father, Kuma, also believed in the foolish legend of the Buccaneer tribe that he would save humanity as Nika. Saturn reveals that he conducted research on a special drug on the chosen eighth woman's body in the Holy Land, resulting in unintended side effects such as blue scales on the skin. This research was considered a failure. Moreover, these side effects were passed down to the next generation genetically. While Saturn explains, a strange object falls from the sky onto the future island, stunning the Marines, who cannot identify it. On the other side, Bonnie begins to shed tears. And realizing that everything was done by none other than Saturn himself, Dr. Vegapunk was extremely upset. Indeed, I am a test subject, having brought the Kuma family to experiment on, subjecting them to the agony of the devil fruit disease. Later, Kuma had to accept his fate, dedicating his life during the scientific transformation. In reverse, Saturn informed Vegapunk that he needed to put himself in Kuma's position to truly understand, emphasizing that there was no need to comprehend the feelings of insects, it was unnecessary. Outside of Kuma Island, after the fall resembling a meteor shower, the Marine soldiers initially mistook Kuma for a pacifista. However, they soon realized that it was indeed Kuma, as his hands had the paw pads from the Niku no Mi devil fruit. They reported Kuma's presence to the inside, but their orders had no effect on him. Kuma began attacking and penetrating the island, leaving Saturn perplexed. Bonnie, feeling helpless and terrified, could only listen to the chaos. The scene was beyond belief. Kuma single-handedly defeated both pacifistas and a vice-admiral who tried to stop him. Saturn, still unaware of the situation, called Bonnie a mouse, stating that her crying wouldn't change anything. Bonnie wished she had never been born, blaming herself for causing pain in Kuma's life. Saturn forcefully pushed Bonnie to the ground as Kuma approached. Kuma, with his body heavily damaged, fell to the ground after a gunshot to the head caused a massive explosion. Despite this, the unstoppable Kuma continued moving forward. The Marine soldiers, despite their efforts, couldn't prevent Kuma from advancing towards Bonnie. Kuma's body absorbed bullets and artillery fire, creating an unbelievable and intense scene. Bonnie, overwhelmed, apologized to Kuma, who had just subdued both a pacifista and a vice-admiral. Saturn, enraged, tried to crush Kuma even more, but Kuma retaliated. Grasping Saturn's spider-like hand, Kuma applied Haki and tightened his grip, causing Saturn's bare hand to bleed. Kuma, showing no emotion, confronted Saturn as he tried to use additional force to press Kuma down. However, Kuma resisted, holding onto Saturn's hand and adding Haki to his frame. Finally, we see Bonnie crying, Kuma expressing anger, his fists imbued with overwhelming Haki and killing intent. Saturn, unable to escape, is held by Kuma, who has firmly gripped his leg. Saturn's eyes widen in astonishment. This is the last detail for Chapter 1103. I will continue to update you with the full details as soon as possible, either tomorrow or the day after. I have to go to the hospital to have my hand checked tomorrow, so please bear with me. Thank you very much.